Today, we are going to revise a few important topics we discussed so far. Because from next class onwards, we are moving to a new module, that is voltage control, reactive power control, and power factor correction. So those your fourth and fifth modules are entirely different from the previous modules what we discussed so far. So that's why, uh, if time permits, in today's class, I'm going to rewind few important derivations or few important formulas we have to remember, and that will be highly helpful for us for solving different numerical problems and important derivations. And the concept of two area control also, if anybody has any doubts, you please text me so that I will elaborate more. So that will be helpful for you to gain more knowledge about two area control, especially in the frequency, load frequency control strategies. And in your module 2 also, we have load frequency control basic diagram, that is the speed governor model, turbine model, and generator load model. In that one also, if you have any doubts, you please raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask me, or you can interrupt me in between also. So module 1, module 2, module 3. So because today is the last class, almost I have covered different types of problems and derivations. The derivations are not there in standard textbooks also. The derivations also we have covered in our online modes. So all the topics and different problems also we have solved in the class. So that my sincere appeal to all the students is, if you have any doubts, you please raise your hand, or you can ask me. So today, two problems are there. Those are nothing but flat frequency control problems. Problems are flat frequency control. What is this flat frequency control? So actually, we solved this. We have used this flat frequency control technique to know the droop, or to know the variations in the frequency of single area control. So here, the same logic we are going to use to solve a two area control load frequency systems. So here, what the data he has given: two alternators rated 500 megawatts and 800 megawatts are operating in parallel with governor droop characteristics of 4% and 5% respectively, from no load to full load. Yes, droop characteristics here means, now it is very clearly they have given that the two alternators have droop characteristics. Now, droop characteristics means, what is the droop characteristics? Generally, we know that on the x-axis, this is nothing but the demand, and on the y-axis, we used to mark it as a frequency, and the relation between the demand and the frequency. So, demand means this is nothing but the load demand or loads. So if the load increases, frequency decreases. So based on this, approximately the relation between frequency and the load demand is like this. So what is this? So this line will have negative slope. Negative slope is nothing but this is called as a droop. So that is the reason the relation between the frequency and the load demand or load is always called as a droop characteristics. So droop characteristics is nothing but, so first you have to develop the relation between the frequency and the load, or frequency and the demand. And we know that if the load increases, frequency decreases. So with this basic knowledge, now for different values of the loads, and for the different the associated values, the frequencies, if you are plotting, so almost of all the relation looks like this. So it is very clear that this relation is having negative slope. The negative slope is nothing but this is called as the droop. Now this droop is existing between the two different parameters, that is the frequency and the load. So this is called as a characteristics. So droop characteristics means, normally these characteristics are drawn between frequency and the load demand by taking load demand on x-axis and the frequency on the y-axis. And the relation if you are plotting, now this looks like this. So this line is having negative slope. That is the reason this is called as a droop characteristics. So how many generators are there here? Two generators, 500 megawatt and 800 megawatts. So first generator droop is 4%. Second generator droop is 5%. Now this is from no load to full load. Yes, this is now in the graph itself. Now this is drawing between the reference axis. So this point is nothing but this is nothing but the no load. This is to the full load point. So whenever the relation, if you are drawing between the frequency and the load or load demand, between no load to full load, the line is like this. So this is nothing but either 4% and 5%. Now this 4% and the 5% is nothing but this is called as the speed regulations or droop characteristics. Droop is nothing but 4% or 5%. This is of generator 2 or alternator 2. This is of generator 1 or alternator 1. So from no load to full load, this is nothing but the speed regulation is, or that is the slope is nothing but the 4%. What do you mean by that? So this 4% is nothing but the speed regulation is nothing but no load minus full load to the full load. This is of what? This is of for generator 1. Similarly, for generator 2, this is 5%. So that is 0.05. That is no load minus full load frequency or speed divided by the full load. So this is nothing but this is the formula for speed regulation. So if it is speed, or that is the speed is nothing but the frequency. If the frequency changed from no load to full load, the generator 1, the slope of the generator 1 is 4%. So this is 0.04 is equal no load minus full load by full load. What is this no load? No load frequency to the full load frequency to the full load frequency. Similarly, for second generator, this is 5%, that is 0.05. This is nothing but again no load minus full load to the full load. So no load frequency minus full load frequency divided by the full load frequency. So this is nothing but 4% droop and 5% droop. Yes, this is clear. This is about the second line. Now, I think up to now this is clear to all the students. Now next one is if a load of 900 megawatt is connected to the system. So it is now in the data, it is very clear that now this particular system, that is how many generators are there? Two generators. So this is nothing but equivalent to two area system. So there are two generators. These two are collectively sharing a load of 900 megawatts. So that is given in the second line. If a load of 900 megawatt is connected to the system, find the share of load for each alternator and also the system operating frequency. Assume the no load frequency to be 50 Hz. So at no load, the frequency is nothing but it is given that it is 50 Hz. So you have to find out the whatever the full load speed, right? Now what he is asking you, please try to whenever you are making an attempt to solve the problems, these problems, the problems of module 2 and module 3 are very easy. Only the thing is you have to remember the formulas, so that formulas will be highly helpful for you, and the formulas are also, I think, is not complex to remember or complex to derive whenever it is required. So here also is not asking about full load. That full load is not there. So from no load to full load, the characteristics are given, but we don't know whether this 900 megawatt is full load or not. So that is, you please remember, because in the 4% or 5% regulation, now here he has given 4%, and here 1 minute and percentage and 5%. So for this 4% is nothing but 0.04. So that is from no load to full load, the change in the speed or change in the frequency is 4%. So 5% is nothing but from no load to full load. Now here it is very clear. Suppose if it is of generator 1, now full load is nothing but 500 megawatts. So for generator 2, full load is nothing but the 800 megawatt generator. So this is about the 500 megawatt and 800 megawatt are the full load capacities of alternator 1 and alternator 2. That is it. So, and what about this 900 megawatt? This 900 megawatts is neither no load nor full load. So, but is asking us to find out how this 900 megawatt load is shared between two alternators rated with 500 megawatt and 800 megawatt. And not only this, for this 900 megawatt load, what are the system operating frequency? Now, with at what frequency the system will operate, and during this you have to assume that no load frequency to be 50 Hz. Now, is it okay? Is it clear? Is the data is clear to you or not? Okay, right. Now, so what is the hint he has given here? 4% and 5% is the no load frequency he has given, right? So first you have to, so this is, let me assume this is the generator 1 load, this is generator 2 load. Now, why I am taking these two on the same axis also, I will tell you. Now, this is nothing but it is the frequency. So, independently, if you are observing in this area, what is this graph here? Frequency versus load. Now, here also, if you are observing, this is also load versus frequency, because he has given this is the 4% and 5% from no load to full load, means droop characteristics they have given. Droop characteristics means, what are the droop characteristics? Droop characteristics means these are the characteristics drawn between load and the frequency. Now, what about the seat of that load? Load you have to select on x-axis and the frequency you have to keep on y-axis. So here also I'm doing the same thing. So between the generator 1 load and the frequency, so suppose let me assume this is nothing but the no load frequency. So this point is nothing but, let me assume this is point A and this is point B. Okay, so AB is nothing but this is the 50 Hz. So AB is, this is, because this is at this point, whatever the load here, load is 0. So this is nothing but the no load frequency. No load frequency. So that is equal to 50 Hz. Right. Now from this, whatever the slope of generator 1, 4%. So slope of this generator 1 may be like this. So this is 4%. From this is the no load point to full load. Now if this point is full load means, now what about this length? What about this point here? This point is nothing but the 500 megawatts, because full load capacity of the generator 1 is how much? 500 megawatts. Now see, now from no load to full load, whenever you are moving, you are changing the load from no load to full load, means initially generator 1 is having 0 load, and gradually if you are increasing the load on the generator 1 from 0 to 500 megawatt, then whatever the frequency, the how that frequency will be changed? Frequency will be changed with 4% droop. So that 4% droop is nothing but the negative slope only. So this is, we are representing like this. So it is assumed that this point is nothing but this is the full load point. Now this is A, B, C, D is nothing but this is the full load. Right. Now, is it clear this step? Because this is the major step. With the help of this only, we are going to complete the problem. If you have any doubt, you please ask me now. Is it clear now? Can I proceed further? Right. Okay. Thank you. Now this is about the alternator one. So alternator one, the key points you have to remember is AB is nothing but this point is nothing but the no load point. This is the no load point. So at this no load, whatever the frequency, because this y-axis is nothing but what is this y-axis? This represents the frequency. So AB is nothing but it is assumed that no load frequency, because this is the frequency we have marked on no load point. So this 50 Hz is nothing but the no load frequency. Now what we are doing here is we are increasing the load from 0 to 500 megawatts. Then how the frequency will be changed? So frequency will take a path with 4% droop. So 4% droop means already we have discussed clearly that droop is nothing but the negative slope. So negative slope is nothing but this can be marked like this. So BC is nothing but 4% slope, negative slope, and CD is nothing but this is the 500 mega, because the lines which are drawn in parallel to this x-axis is nothing but always represents the load only. So full load is nothing but the CD is nothing but I have assumed CD is nothing but the full load of generator 1. So that is nothing but the 500 megawatts. Right. Now this is about the first one. Now second one, coming to the second one. Now no load is nothing but the same. Now this is nothing but system frequency. So no load to full load. Full load is nothing but the 800 megawatt. What about the slope? 5%. So this is the 5% means this may be like this. So not exactly. So because this line and this line will have different slopes. One is with 4%, this is with 4%, this is with 5%. So what might be the load here? This is nothing but the full load. So this load is nothing but this is how much it is? 800 megawatts. So BCD, this is E. Let me take G, because E after that F we used to mark, but F is nothing but it is a standard notation we used to represent the frequency. So that's why EG. So next EG is nothing but this is the full load of second generator. The capacity is 800 megawatts. So this is about the no load full loads, and the associated loading capacities also we have marked, right? This is very clear. Now what is the problem here? What is asking? So for a total load of 900 megawatt. Now how this 900 megawatt it will be distributed? Let generator 1 shares x megawatt, and generator 2 automatically shares 900 minus x megawatts, because totally whatever the load on the system, so 900 megawatt is there. So first generator shares x megawatt, second generator shares 900 minus x megawatt. So this 900 is nothing but it is a total load. So total load means you have to represent this 900 in parallel to your x-axis. Somewhere I am drawing a line here. So this point is nothing but, so this total load, this total one is nothing but 900. So this is x megawatt, then automatically this would be 900 minus x. So G is over G H I J. So this G1 share is nothing but the HI, and G2 share is nothing but the IJ. So this is totally HJ is nothing but x plus 900 minus x. So this is the totally, this line is sorry, this line is 900 minus x line. So total load is nothing but this line which is drawn in parallel to your x-axis. This is nothing but the 900 minus x. Now this is the point here. So what is asking now for this particular load, for this 900 megawatt load, whatever the system change in frequency. So also the system operating frequency. So that is nothing but from here to here, whatever the operating frequency or change in the frequency. Let me assume that change in frequency is nothing but the delta F, and x. So how many parameters you have to find out? X you have to calculate, delta f you have to calculate, 900 minus x also we have to calculate. So the change in system frequency is how much? Delta f, which is nothing but IA or AI. So this is the different nomenclatures we have used. And what are the parameters we have to determine? HI you have to determine x, and AI you have to determine, that is a delta f, and IJ you have to determine, that is a 900 minus x. So this is a brief introduction to our problem. And with this basic knowledge, let us determine the parameters what he is asking. That is nothing but the load sharing of generator 1 and generator 2, and next one is a change in the system frequency. So what I am doing is from okay. So before going to that, why I have drawn these two, generator 1 and generator alternator 1 and alternator 2 characteristics on the same graph? Because he is asking us to determine the system operating frequency. System is a combination of two. System is nothing but system 1, system 2. It's not like that. System is nothing but it is the combination of two areas. So that is the reason we have marked on a common frequency reference axis. That is the logic behind that, nothing more than that. Okay. Now I am taking for generator 1, or alternator 1, there are two triangles. So this is a triangle, and next one is nothing but this is the another triangle. So triangle BHI and triangle BCD. These are the two triangles are there. So adjacent to adjacent, that is nothing but AIHI divided by CD is equals next adjacent sides. So this is nothing but the BI to BD. These are the two triangles. So this is nothing but HI is nothing but the X divided by CD, that is nothing but the 500 megawatt. This is equals, next one is BI. BI is nothing but the, this is the value. So BI is nothing but what is that value? AB minus this total value minus AI divided by BD. BD is nothing but, where is that B? From here to here. So BD can also be represented as AB minus DE. Now this is furtherly simplified as x by 500 is equals, AB is nothing but the 50 minus AI is nothing but delta F. AI is nothing but the delta F divided by AB again 50 minus DE. So DE we don't know anything here. Let you write the DE, right? So this value is nothing but the, you can simplify this, or otherwise you can keep it as it is. So let mark x by 500 is equal 50 minus delta E, or otherwise you can write x is equals 500 into 50 minus del F divided by 50 minus DE. Say this is the equation number 1. So this is the first one. And second one is, in continuation to this, I am asking, okay. So only just recollect the equation. Sorry. this line divided by this is generator 2, this is generator 1 G2, and this 500, this is 800. So A, B, C, D, and next 900 E, G. This is a 900 megawatt load. H, I, J. So this is the value, right? So what is our equation 1? Equation 1 is nothing but X is equals 500 into 50 minus delta F divided by 50 minus AD of AD. This is our equation 1. Similarly, for generator or otherwise, so, and one more thing here it is, what is that he has given 4% group of generator 1. So 4% means 0.04 is equals no load minus full load divided by the full load. So this is no load is how much? What is this no load? No load frequency. So no load frequency minus full load frequency to full load frequency. So this point is, so 0.04 is nothing but no load frequency is 50. It is clearly given in the data itself. Full load frequency of what? Full load frequency of generator 1. What is this full load frequency? So full load frequency means this is the full load point. This point is nothing but the full load point. So whatever the full load frequency, the full load frequency is nothing but from here to here. This is nothing but the full load frequency only. So that value is nothing but the AD divided by AD. Is it clear to you all? So if you are simplifying this, you will get the AD value. So that point you have to tell me AD. You please text me whatever the AD value. Meanwhile, I will go back to the generator 2. Now in the generator 2, now how many triangles here? Same triangles. Triangle BIJ and one more triangle is BEG. BEG. So this is a small triangle and then a bigger one, BEG and BAJ. So whatever this length, this one is nothing but the, so IJ divided by, so EG. Now you tell me the AD value, ma. Please solve this one. Meanwhile, I will go to the second unit, second generator. IJ by EG divided by BI divided by BE. BE. So this is nothing but IJ is 900 minus X divided by EG. EG is nothing but how much it is? This is 800 minus, sorry, is equals. Now BI. So what is this BI? BI is nothing but, so this is the value. So that is nothing but the AB minus AI divided by BE. BE is nothing but this value, AB minus AE. So this is 900 minus X divided by 800 is equals, AB is nothing but the 50 minus A is nothing but the delta F divided by anybody, can you tell me the answer of this AD? 48.07. Okay. Only 2 persons responded. .07, right? Okay. So this is 48.07 hertz, right? Now this is AB is again 50 minus AE. AE is not okay. Let it be like this. So you need not simplify this. Let it be like that and come back to this. So similarly for generator 2, the droop is 5 percentage. So that is 0.05 is equals, no load is directly I'm writing 50 minus full load is how much? So this is nothing but the full load. Whatever the corresponding frequency, this is the corresponding frequency. That value is nothing but the AE divided by AE. Now if you are solving this, you will get the AE value. Please tell me this value also. Sorry for interruption, dear friends. So AE 47.61. Thank you. AE is 47.61 H. Yes, is it clear now? So yes, thank you. We have calculated AD value and AE value. So in equation 1, only unknown value is AD is we don't know. So what I'm doing is X is equals 500 into 50 minus delta F divided by 50 minus 48.07. So this is, it will be simplified as 500 into 50 minus delta F divided by something for 50 minus 48.07 means, so 1.37 something you are going to get. So you will get finally some constant into 50 minus delta F. Say this is equation number 3 or something. Similarly, 900 minus X divided by 800, this equation I am taking is equal to 50 minus delta F divided by 50 minus AE. AE also we have calculated, that is 47.61. So in this one, you will get 900 minus X is equal to something into 500, sorry, 50 minus delta F. So this equation number 4. This equation 3 and equation 4, how many unknowns are there? One is X is there, next one is the delta F is there. You please try to solve X value and X and delta F. You please tell me the values. Those are the, this is a method to identify the load sharing in two area load frequency control systems. And delta F is nothing but the change in the frequency. Can anybody please X and delta F? Of course, it may take 1 or 2 minutes, but you please try to solve this problem. Abhi, are you doing?
Yes, sir, doing.
Lalit, are you there? Anila? Purna? Nikita. I think it is not so tough. It's not tough also because only substitution of the values and only two polynomials are there. That is also first order polynomials. Lalit, do you have answers with you? Okay, okay. Yes, x is equal to, I think 391.85 megawatt. I think so. You got 393. Yeah, maybe uh, x is equal to 391 or 393. Okay, no problem. To if anybody got 391.85 megawatt, 391.52. Okay, Abhi. Right. So close to 391.85. So okay, 391 point something megawatt. Right. So based on this, you tell me whatever the delta F value. That's the end of the problem. So load shared by the generator one is 391 point. Okay, as per Abhinay, this is 391.52. So might be 391 point something. If you are taking all the decimals, now almost you are going to get a 391.85 megawatts. Otherwise also no problem. 391.52 and change in the frequency delta F. Yeah, exactly. 48.49 hertz. Yeah. Change in frequency is equal to 48.49 hertz. Right. That's all. So this is if x is equal to 391 point something, that is nothing but the load shared by the generator one or alternator one is this. So what about the sharing of second generator? So that is 900 minus this. If you could subtract, you will get straight away that value. Now, can I close this problem? You please take the screenshot of this. So answer is delta F is equal to change in the system frequency is 48.49 hertz. And how this 900 megawatt is shared between the generator 1 and generator 2. So generator 1 sharing is 391.85 megawatt or 391.52 megawatt, no matters. That is the of the alternator one. Alternator two sharing is 900 minus this. If you could subtract, you will get the value. Now, is it okay? Then because I have one more problem to discuss with you. That is also different kind of problem. Can I close this? So this is one more problem. A generator has a primary ALFC loop. ALFC loop means automatic load frequency control loop characterized by 4%. The secondary loop is open. It is feeding a load consisting of three equal resistors are connected in a star network. So here a generator has a primary ALFC loop characterized by 4%. Means the load frequency control, that is nothing but the speed regulation. First data is nothing but the speed regulation is 4%. Yes, this is the first information he has given. The secondary loop is open. Of course, we are not talking much about the secondary LFCs. You can ignore this second line also. Now it is feeding a load of consisting of three equal resistors. So what is this alternator here? So how many areas are here? Only single area. So this generator is supplying a load, and this load is nothing but this is the star connected load. Star connected three phase resistors are there. Only resistor load and all these three resistors are connected in star. That is the meaning of the third statement. The frequency is 50 Hz. Yes, okay, the frequency of this particular one is f is equals 50 Hz, right? Now the resistances are decreased. So these resistance values are nothing but the variable, no? Are decreased until the frequency drops to 49 Hz. Actually initially what is the frequency? 50. Now he is expecting to decrease the frequency to up to 49. It means change in the frequency is how much? Delta f is equal to 1 Hz. So change in the frequency, there is the same thing here. They have given find how much percentage the resistor R has to be decreased in order to achieve 49 Hz frequency. So initially the frequency is 50, but he want to adjust the frequency of the system to 49 Hz. So how is going to adjust that? So only the other way is only one and only one way is nothing but if you want to increase or decrease, then accordingly you have to change the loading parameters. So if you want to decrease the frequency from 50 to 49, then you have to increase the loads. So how much of percentage of the resistances you have to increase, because he has clearly given that now that load is nothing but the resistive load only. How many resistors are there? Three resistors connected in star connection. So that is the mean. So assume that AVR loop is nothing but the automatic voltage regulator. So this is nothing but the excitation loop, automatic voltage regulator, excitation loop. Now this keeps the terminal voltage constant. So indirectly he has given the terminal voltage here is nothing but the, this is the constant value. This is the problem here. So resistances R is to be decreased. Resistance R is to be decreased to 49 Hz. That is a change in the frequency is 1 Hz. Yes, just now also we have discussed about this. The power delivered to load. So whatever the power delivered to load is nothing but P is equal to V square by R or I square R. V, because we don't know about the current, but he has given that this V is nothing but the constant in both the cases. Either in case 1 or case 2, this V is constant, but nothing has discussed anything about the current. So that's why let me use this formula. P is equal to V square by R. So in this one, this is about the during 50 Hz. This is per 50 Hz change. So during 49 Hz, now frequency anyhow it will be constant V square by R X, because this R is nothing but it will be changed, because he has clearly he has given that the resistances are decreased until the frequency drops to 49 Hz. So this Rx will be changed. So and this is the one case. So this is the px value and this is the p value. And next thing is the regulation he has given, that is a 4% regulation. What is this 4% regulation? That is 0.04 times of no load frequency. So 0.04 into 50, that is 2 hertz per unit megawatt. What do you mean by this 2 hertz per unit megawatt? Means per unit means 100%. Now if the load, if it is changed to 100%, then there will be a change in the frequency of 2 hertz. That is the meaning of this. That is the same thing here I am highlighting here. That is for 100% change in load cause a change in frequency of 2 Hz. So 100%, suppose 100%, suppose initially 100 megawatt load is there. If it is changed to 100%, that is nothing but the 200 megawatt, then there will be a change of frequency 2 hertz. So for 100% change in the frequency, 100% change in the load, so frequency it will be changed to 2 hertz per unit. But how much frequency he has given? Only 1 hertz. Means how much of change in the load? Now 50% is nothing but the change in the load. Is it clear to you all? So he has given that the regulation is 4%. Regulation is 4% means that is nothing but 2 hertz per unit megawatt. 2 hertz per unit megawatt. 2 hertz per unit megawatt means for 100% change in load. Now suppose if you are changing the load 100%, then there will be a change of 2 hertz in frequency. So frequency, how much it will be changed? Just 2 hertz. But load, how much it will be changed? 100%. For 100% change in load, then there will be a change of 2 hertz in frequency. So just 2 hertz, if you want to see, you have to change the 100%. But how much? You changed the frequency 1 hertz. So what do you mean by that? How much of load? Then corresponding to this, so the load is nothing but the just 50 hertz, 50%. So that is a 50% means 0.5. So now let the new load be Rx. Just now also we have discussed Rx is nothing but the X percentage into initial resistance. So he is asking how much of percentage the load resistance will be changed. So that percentage is nothing but the X percentage into R. So associated to this, the power supplied to the load is Px is equal to V square by Rx. So that is V square by X into R. So change in load is nothing but the, so finally minus P to P. So this is nothing but the V square by X into R minus V square by R divided by V square by R. So from the numerator V square by R, if you are taking the common, this is 1 by X minus 1 divided by V square by R. How much it is? This value is nothing but the 0.5. This is 0.5. So this value is 1 by X minus 1 is equal to 0.5. So 1 by X is equal to 1.5. X is equal to 1 by 1.5. So 66.7. So this value is nothing but the, so decrease in R. This X is equal to 66.7. So decrease in resistance. So how much of decrease? So this is nothing but the 100 minus 66.7. So that is nothing but the 33.3. So percentage change in the load is nothing but the 33.3 is nothing but the percentage change in load. So this is one more type of problem. So percentage change in the load is just 33.3%. So this is the one more type of problem. So there are two problems, and these two are completely different, and with the logic only you can solve this. And one more problem I would like to discuss with you, but I don't want to solve here because already we have discussed about this problem in the last classes. That is nothing but the developing the Simulink model to study the change in the frequency and the change in the tie lines. So is this problem is clear, or you want me to explain once again this change in the percentage change in the resistances? Is it clear to you all? Thank you for your timely response. And next thing is, so this is the one more problem. In today's before in my last class, we have discussed about plots of two area system, but there we assumed that area 1 and area 2 are same. Area 1, this one, and area, sorry, I'm extremely sorry. Area 1 and area 2, this area and area 2 are same, identical. But here they have clearly mentioned the power system gain constant 120. Here this is nothing but 100. Power system time constant 20 seconds. This is 22 seconds. Speed regulation is 2.5. Here 3. frequency anyhow it will not be changed but need not be written, but anyhow they have given, let it be like that. Governor time constant, turbine time constant, integrator time constant, so all the values are different. So biasing parameter is 0.425, this is 0.326, so this is the B2 value and this is the B1 value, and 2 pi t 2 pi t12 is equal to 0.08. So here plot the change in the tie line power and change in the frequency of control area 1 if there exists a step load change of 2% in area 1. Now my sincere request is you all try to solve this problem with the help of your digital simulation, that is nothing but the MATLAB, because this will give the complete understanding of the MATLAB. Not only that, and you can get some idea of analyzing the change in the frequency and the change in the tie line power with the calculated values using dynamic response and steady state response with the digital simulation. So I think how many of you have downloaded this MATLAB? How many of you have discussed, I mean to say, gone through that MATLAB Simulink versions and MATLAB programming model? Because otherwise it is very difficult to solve this kind of problems. So in some of the laboratories also these type of problems they will ask. So you be ready for that aspects also. I have taken the screenshot of this area 1 and area 2, power system gain constant of area 1 and area 2, and power system time constant of area 1 and area 2, and similarly the remaining values. Otherwise I will show you the yes, this is the problem only. Same. So this is the PI controller, this is the integrator, this is the governor one, and this is the turbine one, this is nothing but the generator one. Here but in this problem, both the areas are identical. He has clearly said that both the areas are identical. But in this one, they have not given the areas are identical. But now, one more assumption you have to make in this problem is he has not given um, capacity of area 1 and area 2. Otherwise, because why it is necessary means you have to calculate A12 because in between the two areas, so this is the delta F1, it will come to a summer point. This is nothing but the delta F2, this is minus and this is plus. The resultant it will go to the 2 pi T12 by S. And then after that on the right side, this is minus A12, then this is delta P tie 2. So A12 is nothing but you have to calculate this A12. What is this A12? A12 is nothing but the capacity of area 1 to capacity of area 2. So area 1 to area 2, he has not given anything. So in this case, assume both are same, then you will get the 1. So that is because he has not given, but he has clearly mentioned that area 1 is different, area 2 is different. But for our simplification, you can assume both are same, then A12 will be plus 1 only. So this is minus, A12 is nothing but this block will be minus 1. Now, except this, the remaining everything he has given, because, and one more assumption is nothing but the KSG, you have to treat it as a 1, and KT is also you have to treat it as a 1 for both the areas 1 and 2, KSG2, and this is nothing but the KT2. Except this, all these things, all the data he has given in the problem. So with the help of this particular table, you try to construct and you try to send me the waveforms of frequency and the tie line powers independently, area 1 separately and area 2 separately, tie line powers and the frequencies, just like that how we have discussed in our last class. So like this, we have finished module 1, module 2 and module 3. So 2 more modules are left over in power system operation and control. So if you have any queries, you please ask me. I am very happy to answer your queries.